broadcast of the regular meeting of the Planning Commission will now begin.
Thank you very much. I will call the meeting to order. Meeting of the Minneapolis Planning Commission for August 17th, 2020. The time is 4:31, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll to check for quorum.
Caprini, Dunick, Smiley,
Here.
Here. Here. Marwa. Here. Meyer.
Here.
Olson. Here. Schrader.
Here.
Sweezy. Here. Rockwell.
Here.
There's 8 commissioners.
Very good. We have quorum. Thank you very much. Our next order of business is to accept the minutes from the August 3rd, 2020 Planning Commission meeting and approve the Committee of the Whole consent agenda from the August 6th, 2020 Committee of the Whole meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved, Commissioner Olson.
Second,
We have a motion.
Smiley.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Smiley.
Aye.
Lipke-Pier.
Aye.
Marwa. Aye. Meyer.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Schrader.
Aye.
Sweezy. Aye. That's 7-0.
That motion carries. Next up is organizing the agenda for this public hearing. I will walk through all of the agenda items here. If there's anybody on the phone line who wishes to testify on any of these items, please unmute yourself when I state the item number and name and let us know that you'd like to testify. Otherwise, the agenda item will be placed on our consent agenda. First up is item number 5, North Star sign, 1611 8th Street Southeast in Ward 2. Star 6 unmutes if you wish to testify on this item. Hearing no one, place item number 5 on consent. Item number 6 is the Gateway Mixed Use Development at 250 Nicollet Mall in Ward 3, registered land survey. If anyone wishes to testify, please press star 6 and let us know. Hearing no one, we'll place item number 6 on consent. Item number 7 is the Community Health First Care Clinics at 2011 and 2019 Chicago Avenue in Ward 6. If you'd like to testify on item number 7, please press star 6 to unmute and let us know. We'll place item number 7 on consent. Item number 8 is 3908 Abbott Avenue South in Ward 13. If you would like to testify on item number 8, please unmute yourself by hitting star 6 and let us know.
Hi, this is Kate Lang. I'm on the line to testify.
Very good. We will place item number 8 on our discussion agenda. Item number 9 is 927 West Broadway Avenue and 1838 DuPont Avenue North in Ward 5. Is anybody here to testify on item number 9?
You can.
I'm sorry, I heard chatter on the line. Was that somebody wishing to testify on item number 9? All right, we'll place item number 9 on the consent agenda. Item number 10 is the Gordon Center Emergency Shelter, 2220 16th Avenue North in Ward 5. Item number 10 will be continued to the September 8th hearing. So commissioners, our agenda as amended is item number 8 on our discussion agenda, items number 5, 6, 7, and 9 on our consent agenda, and item number 10 continued to September 8th. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended? Commissioner Smiley.
Move to approve the amended agenda.
Commissioner Lipke-Pierre.
I second that motion.
Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Smiley,
Aye.
Lipke-Pierre,
Aye.
Marwa.
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Schrader,
Aye.
Sweezy,
Aye.
7-0.
That motion carries. Next up, could I get a motion to approve items 5, 6, 7, and 9 consistent with staff recommendations on the, hold on, I need to open the public hearing on the consent agenda. I apologize. Next, I will open the public hearing on the consent agenda, items 5, 6, 7, and 9. If anyone wishes to testify, please press *6. Hearing no one, I will close the public hearing on the consent agenda. Commissioners, could I have a motion to approve the consent agenda consistent with staff recommendations?
Motion, Marwa.
Second, Meyer.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Smiley,
Aye.
Lipke-Pierre,
Aye.
Marwa,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Schrader,
Aye.
Sweezy,
Aye.
7-0.
That motion carries. Next, could I have a motion to continue item number 10 to the September 8th hearing? Commissioner Smiley.
I move to continue item number 10 to the next meeting. Sorry,
Good.
September 8th
And
meeting.
thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second, Commissioner Olson.
I have a motion and a second. And for discussion, I know that Commissioner Meyer has discussion.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to comment that I was disappointed to see this continued because I feel it is a very important and urgent matter for us to get these shelters fully operational so that we can have space available to move people who are currently living in our parks. And so I'm really just disappointed to see it delayed for 3 weeks. I know that there's nothing that we can do about it because the applicant asked for it to be continued, but I just wanted to express that, and I hope that that we do approve it on September 8th. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner Meyer. Is there any further discussion on the motion to continue item number 10 to September 8th? Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Smiley,
Aye.
Lipke-Pierre,
Aye.
Marwa,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Schrader,
Aye.
Sweezy,
Aye.
7-0.
That motion carries. Now we move on to our discussion item. First up is item number 8, 3908 Abbott Avenue South in Ward 13. Staff is Lindsay. The floor is yours.
Okay, good evening, commissioners. There should be a presentation that should queue up here shortly. The address in question is 3908 Abbott Avenue South. This is an application for a minor subdivision and 2 variances. One of the variances is to reduce the minimum lot area requirement in the R1 district from 6,000 square feet to 5,350 square feet for the parcel 1 and 5,348 square feet for parcel 2. The second variance is to reduce the minimum lot width requirement from 50 feet to 42.5 feet for both parcels. And so you'll see on the map that this is a parcel that is a double parcel, or is a double lot. The underlying platted lots are 42.5 feet wide. It currently contains a single family home with an attached front facing garage. It's a ranch style 1-story structure. Next slide, please. This is just an aerial view showing the home. There are a mix of lot sizes in the immediate area. This site is not subject to the large lot provision, though there are some large lots nearby. There are properties on the same block and within surrounding blocks that are smaller than the required 6,000 square feet and 50 foot width. Next slide, please. So this is an existing survey showing the existing house and the attached front facing garage. Next slide, please. And then here is the proposed subdivision. So it would not be subdivided on the underlying lots because the parcel was created by combining portions of 3 lots, though the resulting parcels would be similar in size to the underlying platted lots. And staff did find that due to the way that this property was created with the combination of multiple lots, and that all the underlying platted lots on the subject block face are all approximately 5,000 square feet. That does constitute a practical difficulty in complying with the required lot area and lot width in the R1 district. Staff finds that the proposed lot area of 5,300 square feet and 42.5 feet in width is reasonable and compatible with their surrounding properties. And is larger than the minimum lot areas and lot widths in R1A and the other low density districts. And the applicant has submitted a plan showing the possibility of a construction of a new duplex, though they also have discussed a single family home on the site, on both sites. So they are aware that of the setback requirements. I believe that's on the next slide, please. And here, and it includes an attached rear-facing 1-car garage. And the next slide. And then just a rendering of the proposed duplex. And so staff is supportive of both variances given the size of the underlying platted lots and the natural variability of lot sizes in the area. And staff is recommending approval of the minor subdivision and the 2 variances. And I am happy to answer questions.
Commissioners, are there any questions for staff? Mr. Schrader.
Thank you, Chair Rockwell. Lynn just had a question that when we saw the picture, it looked like a really wooded lot. Is there any plans for what will happen to that? I mean, I'm assuming with the development, those trees are going away, but I just didn't know if there's been any other talk with the developer about saving some of the trees.
That's a good point, and someone actually did just write in with that concern on one of the public comments that you would have gotten in your packet. Our section doesn't do the review of the one 1, 2, and 3 family homes, the applicant will have to submit a development plan for those after the minor subdivision is approved, if it were to be approved. And so my understanding is that that there are regulations that require the retention of trees where applicable, and those can count towards the points that the applicant is required to meet for those new small scale residential structures. So I do believe that there are kind of controls to encourage the retention of trees, but I have not specifically spoken with the applicant regarding that proposal.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioners, any other questions for staff? All right, seeing none, I'll ask the applicant to unmute and introduce yourself and add any further details if you wish. *6 unmutes.
Hi, I am the homeowner at 3908. My name is Tyler No Guy. And can you hear me all right?
We can, thank you.
Okay. So I have applied for this minor subdivision. And with those, you heard the 2 variances that Lindsay spoke about. On Beard Avenue, there are 12 homes behind me. The block behind me, I'm on an alley. And there's an alley separating the blocks. There's 12 homes that have smaller square footage and smaller width than my proposed lots. And then on Chowan, which is 2 blocks away, there are 24 lots that are smaller than the proposed density or the proposed width and square footage of the proposed lots that I have. And so we did go before the Lennon Hill zoning. They were unanimous. I have gone to neighbors on both sides of me. I have gone to the neighbors directly across from me and kitty corner to the property. Along with it, explained in detail to them, and they did support it. Lennon Hills, the zoning committee wasn't supportive of it. It's kind of in the spirit of the Minneapolis 2040 plan and being on a bus line as well on 39th. I'm very close to that bus line. And so we're looking to minor subdivide, and I don't have plans what to build yet. The first step is to do the minor subdivision. And then I understand there's future requirements for me to go before with any plans I have with the property, you know, with building the structures and building the single family homes.
Very good. Thank you very much. Commissioners, are there any questions for the applicant? Seeing none, I'll extend the public hearing to others in the queue. Thank you very much, Mr. Nogay. And Kay Lang is in the queue to testify. Please hit *6 to unmute and go ahead and introduce yourself, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Great. City of Minneapolis Planning Commissioners and staff, thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Kate Lang, and I live at 3905 Beard Avenue South, so directly behind the property. I was not one of the neighbors who was approached. My husband and I submitted a letter to express our strong objection to the request for 3908 Abbott Avenue South. Hopefully you have that. Briefly, our objections to this variance and minor subdivision are as follows. There is no reason given for splitting the lot, and our presumption is economic interest by the owner at the expense of the neighborhood, which sets a worrisome legal precedent going forward. The applicant's proposal is not the only reasonable use of the land, as it currently has multiple building options as one entire lot. Splitting the lot only seems of economic benefit, as I said. The proposed variance will alter the essential character of the locality and be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the other property in the vicinity. As you have noted, the lot has significant tree coverage, which would likely be removed to accommodate 2 duplexes and alley access. Given the size of the trees, this removal would definitely be felt by the neighborhood for years. Also, traffic in the alley will drastically increase with the potentially 4 additional families, and the additional trash cans, I mean, up to 12, will definitely be an eyesore for the neighbors. So staff recommendations are to approve this application, though in our opinion, there's no reason given that warrants the waiver. We propose upholding current ordinances and rejecting these alterations, offering the applicant the ability to build a new single-family home or other approved use on the existing lot. Nothing in the existing lot size forbids the applicant from doing so. Thus, the applicant can accomplish the stated goal without these waivers. To waive current ordinances and allow the applicant to split the lot and build 4 homes in the space now occupied by 1, we find unthinkable and would appear that the city of Minneapolis is placing more emphasis on the position to increase housing supply above all else, regardless of the injury to the property or surrounding property in the Linden Hills area. Thank you for your time and consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have for me.
Thank you very much. Are there questions for the testifier? Is there anyone else wishing to testify on this item? If there are, please press *6 and let your presence be known.
Hello? Yes.
Yes. Are you
Yes,
wishing to testify on this item?
Yes, I do. My name is
Please state your name and address for the record and go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Deborah Fletcher. 3909 Beard Avenue South has been my family home since 1968. And I'm speaking on behalf of my 96-year-old mother who still lives there independently. My first learning of this was actually the night before last when I was taking my mom's recycling out and ran into another neighbor. I was not notified. As far as we could figure out, my mother never got a notice. And then I'm directly across the alley from 3808 Abbott. 3908 Abbott. At first look, the lot division seems fairly innocuous. The lots would be 42.5 feet wide, which would be wider than ours is at 40 feet. But the alarm comes from replacing one single-family home that's been there for 64 years, and with 4 3-bedroom units with what appears to be also a maximum of 2 parking spaces. I'm sort of pondering what's the best that could happen in terms of impact on my family's house. And best would be that each unit is owned, which increases the likelihood of stable long-term residence, that there are 4 family-like groups with bedrooms designed for 4 people per home that way, perhaps. Those 16 people, however, whatever their character, whatever their flavor is, in terms of being kids or adults, would have only 2 parking spaces designed into the build. Despite the societal benefits of decreased use of cars, at this point it's aspirational and it's neither likely nor practical. And so odds are these would become rental units, and maybe they're designed to be that. That would, looking at sort of worst case and maybe most likely case, the units are rental and residents are more likely to be 12 to 16 transitory, unrelated people. The change isn't just the appearance or the space and the loss of trees. It would be a change from a block where neighbors know each other by sight and many by name, look out for each other, welcome new neighbors as houses turn over at a comfortable pace, as opposed to having 12 to 16 strangers coming and going at the end of the driveway, when previously it was only an occasional familiar neighbor or a kid. it's a major change, and it diminishes security and stability for the homeowner at the other end of the driveway. I think also it needs to be considered in the context of variances that are already directly impacting the 3901 side of the block of Beer Avenue South. Across the street, a small rambler was recently replaced by an oversized inflated house, which I believe also violated some variance codes, variances in the building code by being done before they were noticed. Just up the alley on Abbott, a small house was torn down and a huge two-family home with two-car garages going up. And I'll also point out that the only two-family home that has long been on our block is a double bungalow that's altogether is the size of other small one-family ramblers on the block. It has ample parking, big backyard, and it's more likely to be affordable housing than these that are going up. I guess my main point is that this is an area with quite a number of larger than standard lots, and I'm come to understand that they will be the target for bringing them down to the standard lot sizes. So we're asking all the homeowners nearby that have standard size lots are being asked to carry a disproportionate burden of the change we're looking to have in the city. I would just ask that as we strive for equity, that we measure by the desirable increased population density achieved, would ask for fairness to homeowners who also seem to be subject to a wave of animus toward residents of Southwest Minneapolis. I think we also need to consider the equity of the magnitude of negative impact to which those living near oversized lots are going to be subjected. So I'm appealing to the motivation of equity, especially as it applies to the ultimate impact of this variance. And I want to thank you for your consideration.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else on the line wishing to testify on this item? If there is, please make your presence known. *6 unmutes the line.
I think I maybe answer a few questions of this Tyler No guy. I don't know if you'd like to hear me again, just respond to the neighbors, other questions that they have.
We'll have a chance if commissioners want some clarification.
Okay, gotcha. All right,
thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, hearing no one else, I will close the public hearing. Commissioner Meyer.
Thank you. So, the city has already passed, a triplex ordinance and is working on eliminating minimum parking requirements. So, I feel like these variances are not asking very much and are perfectly consistent with the direction we have been going on those issues. And I just want to note that, we need to provide space for what the testifier described as transitory, unrelated people, and if we're going to be providing equity, well, I feel like Ward 13 is one of the places in the city that provides the fewest spaces for that. So I think that it's important that we provide that type of space around the city. So this is a pretty straightforward thing to me that I think we should approve. So with that, I would move to approve items A, B, and C as recommended by staff.
All right, we have a motion to approve items A, B, and C, consistent with staff recommendations. Commissioner Smiley.
I second that motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second, and we have a few more discussion in the queue. Commissioner Sweezy.
Yeah, thank you, President Rockwell. I'll be voting against the motion to approve, and the reason for that is found in the legal basis for the two variances. This argument applies to both of them, but we have to find all three things in order to approve a variance. And I don't think that the findings for number one, the practical difficulties exist, which are of circumstances unique to the property, exist here. Those circumstances that are offered in the staff recommendation are that originally at some previous time, there were underlying plats here that were smaller than the one that they were ultimately combined into. So if I understand the rationale, it was that at one time they were two smaller plats. So now we've got this big plat, which makes doing what the owner wants to do, not feasible. The problem I have with that is a couple of things. First of all, I highly doubt that this is the only property in the city of Minneapolis that has been replatted or has had something like that apply to it. And I guess the rhetorical question would be, how far do we go back then? Can we go back and look at previous zoning uses for a property that are unique, that they want to do now that they couldn't before? I mean, I think you get the property that you have at the time that you have it. And so far, this is platted for that, which means that dividing it doesn't allow for you to meet either the minimum lot size or the width. And that's just kind of, to my way of thinking, the way it is. That's not unique to this piece of property. It was probably a condition that could have been known at the time it was purchased or the time that this other structure was built on it. I don't know, and I'm not sure that that's relevant, but I don't think that this is a unique circumstance. And for those reasons, I don't think comparing this to the size of other lots is particularly germane either. The lot size is what it is, and I don't think we need to reach back into history and say, well, however many 80 years ago or 120 years ago, we could have done this with it. So now we should go back to do that. And that's a circumstance that's unique to the property. So for those reasons, I will be voting against both variances and the subdivision.
Hello.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Sweezy. The public hearing is closed.
Hello. I've been trying to press *6 for the whole, for the whole meeting.
Is this somebody who has not testified yet? Excuse me. Hello. I think we may have
Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello. Is this somebody who has not testified?
Yes.
Is this
yes. Yes.
Okay. I will, because
I tried throughout. I kept pressing.
I understand.
Okay.
I will, because of technical difficulties, I understand the system is imperfect. So I will take a pause in our discussion and reopen the public hearing.
Thank you.
Go ahead and state your name and address for the record, and try to keep your comments to new items on this issue.
Yes. My name is Elizabeth Cogswell. My husband and I live at 3901 Beard Avenue South, which is on the southwest corner of 39th Street and Beard. We are catty corner from the lot under consideration. Across the alleyway, we were never approached by the owner of the lot, who said that he approached it's the family's catty corner to his property. We were never contacted by him, and only found out about this recently. In addition to the items that have already been mentioned about the density, and I realize that you do not judge the actual structure to be built there. That will be for later. But in terms of the effect on the neighborhood, I'm very concerned. We're very concerned about the load that the alley can take with a minimum of 2 and maybe as many as 8 cars. The owner of the current property, his driveway enters from Abbott, and he has a very high fence that is very dense so that he can't even see out. And I think he's probably very unaware of the condition of our alley and how crowded it is. It's barely wide enough for the trash hauling trucks to go through. And in the wintertime, so it would be virtually impossible for two cars to pass each other on that alleyway. And in the wintertime, because 39th Street is a snow removal emergency route, the snowplows come by and essentially push all the snow to the mouth of the alleyway on 39th Street. And from both the entrances, from both 40th Street and 39th Street, you have to drive up a fairly steep incline to get to the street level. And it freezes over on those mouthways or the exits. And we are both in our 70s, as is our neighbor across the alley on the Abbott side on 39th and Abbott. And he's in his 70s as well. We try to shovel that snow away. It's very heavy and it turns to ice. And the only way that you can get out of the alley in the wintertime is to back down the alley, gun your engine to go up over the hump if you possibly can, which is very dangerous because oncoming traffic on 39th Street from the west, you can't see it because of the hill that's there. So it comes over this hill very quickly, most of it higher than the speed limit. We have city buses there, trucks that come through, very heavy trucks. And it's quite scary to enter 39th Street, even in the best of weather. And in the wintertime, it's extremely frightening. And that ice is not cleared off. Also, the alleyway does not drain well in the center of the alley, and that freezes. And so at best, you can, if you can't get out the 39th and Beard, if you go, the 39th and the alleyway, and you try to go to the other end of the alleyway onto 40th, which is also an incline, though not quite as steep. If there's any of these cars that would be blocking this new traffic of 4 to 8 cars. We already have 4 new cars coming because of the double garages that one of the earlier speakers mentioned on what used to be a small single family home. Now we've got 2 double garages, so that's 4 cars. And with all the additional garbage collection receptacles, it's going to be impassable and no way out if any car is stalled or can't move on that alleyway. So that is our major concern. And we are also concerned that if these become 4plexes, 2 and 2, we hope that if they are rental, that they be required to have at least one owner-occupied unit in each of the 2 buildings that are being proposed for that site. I wish that this could be put on hold until the Planning Commission could actually come out after a heavy storm and look at the condition of our alley. The owner of the property mentioned the alley 2 streets down, but that's a wider alley and it has very substantial concrete paving through the whole part of the alley. Ours is blacktop with patches and these steep inclines on either end. So the density on that alley is going to be quite troublesome to us. Thank you very much for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Well, the public hearing is reopened. Is there anybody else wishing to testify on this item? '3908 Abbott. *6 unmutes. Hearing no one, I will reclose the public hearing, and Commissioner Dunnick.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And this question may be for the applicant or maybe for staff. I just would like to hear a little bit more about general expectations for public notice. It seems like a theme of this project in particular is that it wasn't noticed very well to the neighbors and neighborhood. Is that just a best practice? That's sort of an expectation, and I'm curious to either hear from the applicant about that or if staff has thoughts about how that could be better done in the future.
Yeah, I can answer that. Thank you. So the zoning code lays out our noticing requirements for all public hearings. Those require, and there are also noticing requirements when the applicant submits their application. So upon submittal of a complete application, the applicant has to notify the council member's office and the neighborhood organization of record. In addition, the city will send out notices once the application is final and the public hearing has been scheduled. Those notices include a notice to the registered neighborhood group, notice to Finance and Commerce. Notices are sent to all property owners within 350 feet of the site in the mail 15 business days or 15 days before the public hearing, and placards are also posted at the four corners of the site. I did hear from some residents that they were concerned about, or that they hadn't received notice in the mail. We did verify with the copy center that notices were sent out on the required deadline. So beyond that, I can't explain why perhaps some mail did not arrive or wasn't received in time. But those are the noticing requirements for public hearings, and we were able to at least confirm that the notices were sent out by the copy center.
Local ramifications of the undermining of the United States Postal Service. Thank you, Lindsay. Are there any other questions or comments? We have a motion and a second to approve consistent with staff recommendation items A, B, and C. Commissioner Lukey-Peer.
Yes, I have a question for staff. I struggled with this a little bit too, just because I'm not fully grasping the findings related to practical difficulties. I think that the spirit and intent is probably there, but I do kind of, after listening to Commissioner Squeezy's arguments, I am agreeing with her that the practical difficulty required findings are not quite as robust as I would imagine. So can you please just maybe explain it again, or address Commissioner Squeezy's concerns related to that required findings? I can't quite get over that hurdle.
So, staff found that the underlying platted lots and the composition of the underlying platted lots was a practical difficulty, both in meeting the size and width of the requirements in the ordinance. And this is something that, I know that we have used similar rationale for subdivisions in the past where, there's something uncommon about the division of the lot and how it was created in the first place. And part of that is just that when there is a property that's in a district that where the underlying platted lots do meet the size requirements, that is not a minor subdivision, that is just a lot split. But seeing as this was pieces of multiple lots and the underlying platted lots were smaller, staff did find that constituted a practical difficulty in complying with the ordinance.
So are we saying that in the future, when we see land use applications related to splitting lots into sizes that we currently deem as unbuildable, we are willing to say that as long as any parcel's been a combination of pieces of other parcels, that they have met the practical difficulty requirement, or what? Because I'm just a little bit, I'm just kind of wondering if it was combined to one lot and now we're dividing it into two instead of three, and so it seems kind of like an uncomfortable precedent.
So commissioners, if you choose to disagree with staff recommendation, you're always welcome to make alternate findings. The city was platted one way, and over time, we do have lots that were changed over time through splits and combines. Some of them resulted in lots that on their own could not be developable. Some resulted in lots that were larger than average size. We also have provisions in the zoning code for large lot districts where when lots are combined, if the average of those lots exceeds the average in the zoning code by a certain amount, then that's the new minimum. That provision does not apply here. So, you know, we had to use our best professional analysis, and you're seeing that in the staff reports.
Thank you.
You're welcome to make alternate findings.
Commissioner Marwa.
Hi, I just had a quick question. The applicant mentioned that the rendering that we saw is not by any means set in stone. It's just getting this approval will enable him to eventually make a duplex. I just wanted to understand, is that, or does he have the plans that after this approval is granted for him to actually build that building?
I'll ask the applicant to unmute and answer, please.
This is Taylor Nogai, and to answer your question, there are no plans yet. It is just showing multiple uses of a single family or a duplex as potential with the 2040 plan, and the spirit that we need, you know, a lot more homes in every single district in Minneapolis. So there have been no plans, there have been no ideas. There may not be a duplex there. I don't know that. This is the first time. There may be 2 single family homes that are there. And I may be living in one of those single family homes. And so it's putting the plan in place, first getting the minor subdivision, and then putting the plan of the home I want to build with a front porch. And that's the neighborhood, like my neighborhood in front of me in Abbott. They all have front porches. We're all in the front with our kids. And so I don't have a front porch currently. So that's what I'm looking to build more in the spirit of the neighborhood along with that. And, you know, my lot's flat, so it's a very easy subdivide. And, you know, along with that, there's only one other home on the block besides myself that's not in the alley between Beard, which you've heard the homeowners on Beard express their concern, and on Abbott. And those three individuals that did, you know, express their concern, their lots are smaller than the 2 proposed lots. So, you know, we're kind of all in the same boat. They have a beautiful single family home, and I make beautiful single family homes here. Maybe one's a duplex, maybe not. That's to be announced after we go through the minor subdivision and then laying out the plans with the builder. So there are no plans yet.
Thank you. That answers my question.
All right. Any other questions?
Very good.
While I'm on, I can answer.
We have Commissioner Lipsky here. I'm not sure if it's a question for the applicant or for others.
Actually, I had a question for Kimberly. So
very good. Are there any questions for the applicant while the applicant is on the line? Seeing none. Commissioner Lipsky here. Thank you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to circle back really quickly. So I know we just recently talked about future changes to the zoning code in support of 2040 gains, and one of the things we talked about were minimum lot sizes. So maybe I was wondering if Kimberly or Lindsay could just address are the proposed changes in keeping changes we're seeing proposed for future lot sizes and minimum widths? How far does this vary from that?
So right now we have a 5,000 square foot minimum lot size for every part of the city except for our R1 district and R2 district, which is really, you know, the outlier. Those are also the only areas where we have an increased lot width. We will likely be eliminating that as part of the change in lot area minimums. You know, I'd have to check in with Jason for sure, because right now a lot of their work has been focused more on larger, I shouldn't say larger projects, but more on the higher density districts. So starting in interior 3 and up. And they're also balancing it with the maximum lot area that will be allowed, which will be a new thing. We also have maximum lot areas now already for our lower density districts that were adopted at the end of 2019. So what you're seeing here would not in any way be, my camera's blocked, would not in any way be in conflict with what Jason is proposing to bring forward.
And with the testimony that was given related to the, a nearby adjacent across the alley lots actually being smaller than with a lot size proposed here, is there any, does staff have anything to weigh in on regarding how this it is not unprecedented, it fits with other lots in the neighborhood, or is that not a relevant fact?
we did do the analysis, and this is not a large lot district. So we did look at that. As you go one direction, lots are larger. As you go the other direction, lots are, 5,000 to 6,000 square feet. So we did take that into account with our analysis, and it was not a large lot district.
Thank you.
Very good. And I think that analysis would go to finding number 3, Commissioner Lipke-Peer. Commissioners, any further discussion or questions? All right, we have our motion before us for items A, B, and C. Motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Senick,
Nay.
Ismaili,
Aye.
Lipke-Peer,
Aye.
Marwa,
Aye.
Meyer,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Schrader,
Aye.
Sweezy.
No.
That's 6 yeses and 2 nos.
That motion carries, and that concludes our business with item number 8, or item number 9, I apologize, and concludes all of our discussion, sorry, item number 8. That concludes all of our discussion items for today. Kimberly, are there any staff updates?
Just a reminder that we have our CLIC discussion at Committee of the Whole this week. So I think there are 3 text amendments on the agenda leading up to that part of the agenda. So it will be a little bit longer than a typical Committee of the Whole meeting. Typically, we try to start CLIC at 6:30, so or 6 o'clock. We did let them know it might be closer to 6:30 just to get through those built form discussions, but just wanted to make sure everyone's aware of that for Thursday.
Very good. Thank you very much. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.